on that. We do have a deep question right here, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Why would a loving God send anyone to hell?
Oh, that's a great question. By the way, for those of you watching, I just did a TikTok video on this earlier in the week. I'm on TikTok. You forgot to ask me, Mark. I did a TikTok video. I was running the hills with my wife, and I said, hang on, film me behind these flowers. And I asked the question, if God made everything, is it wrong to smoke pot? That was 2 weeks ago. That has 423,000 views on TikTok.
So you're a viral sensation. I didn't even know. Wow.
Now, there are some serious haters on there just hating on me, but I could care less. And I did one on, I talked about porn, how damaging porn can be. I think it has 20-some thousand. I did one on how do we know the Bible's true? And I did one earlier this week. And the key is to answer all of them in like 1 minute or less, right? Because that's all TikTok allows. And I gave 2 answers in this TikTok video. I said, number 1, how can a loving God send a good person to hell? The answer is, there's no such thing as a good person. There's no such thing as a good person. Jesus said it's out of the heart that comes idolatry and wickedness and sloth and pride and lust and greed. The Christian story is that the heart is corrupted. Romans 3 says there's no one who is good, no, not one. There's only one truly good person who's ever lived, and we crucified him. So God doesn't send any good people to hell because there's no such thing as a good person. Second, I don't think God sends people to hell. I think God gives us a choice to repent and be with him or not. And if we don't want to be with God, he allows us to have the full weight of being separated from him, which is hell. C.S. Lewis brilliantly said, he said, in the end, there's 2 kinds of people. Those who say to God, thy will be done. Or those to whom God says, thy will be done. All who are in hell choose it. You say, why would anybody choose that? Think about it. Look, have you ever heard the famous song from the 80s, John Bon Jovi, It's My Life? He's like, it's my life. Now or never. Live it how I want to. What about the other famous song of he goes, I did it my way. Humans, we are stubborn and we do not want to bend our knee. God gives us a choice. Now I'll say one more thing on this. I wrote a blog earlier last week. I didn't know if people were going to get upset. And I said the quarantine as a metaphor for hell. Now think about this. We tend to think of hell as a physical lake of fire. I don't think it is. The Bible describes hell as darkness, and it describes it as fire. They can't both be true. If there's fire, it's not dark. If dark, there's not fire. Rather, what fire meant was destruction and judgment. Darkness means loss and aloneness. These are metaphors the Bible uses because at its heart, God made us for relationship with him and relationship with other people. Jesus said the greatest commandment is love God and love other people. So in the quarantine, why are people suffering? Because as cool it is we can look at a screen and be together, it would be cooler if we could be physically present. The worst state when somebody's in jail is when they are in isolation and when you're not with anybody else. God made us for relationship. If somebody says, God, I don't want to be in a relationship with you on your terms, God says, fine, have it your way. You're going to have the absence of relationship and everything that is good, which is what the Bible describes as hell.
That's good. And I think this question came through as well, and maybe it'll allow you to elaborate a little more, I think, down this same path.